Now from our London studio is Bruce Reid from the International Maritime Rescue Federation. Good morning to you, Bruce. Can you tell us how challenging will the conditions be for the people who are working on the rescue operation?
Yeah, good morning. An incredibly sad day as this unfolds, and there'll be a lot of families coming to grips with the fact that their loved ones aren't coming home. As we look at the conditions there, it is getting more difficult. The chances of recovery of people alive are going to be very, very slim now. And I think the divers and the salvage people are facing a fairly challenging conditions from what we can see from the footage that we're seeing on your TV.
Officials are saying that air has been injected into the vessel. Is this a fairly standard procedure at this point?
It's not an area of expertise for the International Maritime Rescue Federation, but what we are seeing, I think, is the authorities doing everything they possibly can to ensure that they can get people in, so they can make sure that any bodies that are in there can be retrieved as quickly as possible.
In your experience, how likely or possible is it that there might be anybody alive under that upturned ship?
I think in general terms now you'd have to look and say it's very unlikely that there will be any more survivors. The water temperature is probably one of the major factors in this, as well as the salvage operation and the work that's been done on the vessel itself. The surface search will be continuing as well as the authorities look to find as many bodies now, which I think it is as a body recovery exercise as they possibly can.
And how do governments prepare themselves to react as quickly as possible to emergencies like this?
Well, it's interesting that you raise that. One of our key projects at the IMRF is International Maritime Mass Rescue Operations. We've got a conference coming up in about a month's time. What we want to do is see a greater preparedness by the states. What they can do is interact with other organisations and agencies in advance of these types of events. We want to see search and rescue exercises being run not just by the maritime authorities but also those that are on shore. You would have seen in this event, for example, we had the Rescue Coordination Centre. You couple that with the on-scene coordinators. We then had vessels of opportunity coming in, other ferries, other boats to help with the search. And then onshore you had the medical authorities, you have civil defence coming in. So you can imagine that in a normal search and rescue situation, those agencies won't be working together. There won't be a requirement. A mass rescue operation in itself is one that exceeds the ability of any one organisation to respond. So what we encourage the states to do is to have their plans in place, test their plans and make sure the communication between all those groups that may be involved is strong in advance, just in case this type of event will occur.
And obviously this is a hugely difficult and distressing time for the families of the students who are on board that vessel, but for the people working on the rescue, for the divers, how upsetting is it when you basically know that it's unlikely you will find any survivors?
I think what you're facing here is you've got not just the divers but also the people that are doing the surface search and the ones working on shore. For many of those people, they've been involved in the search. They may have loved ones that they are part of that local community. It will be very hard for them emotionally, and I think that is something that is missed at times. These search and rescue people are not machines, they are people. They will be struggling as well. The key there, though, is the ability of the Rescue Coordination Centre and the managers to be managing that stress and making sure those people aren't putting themselves at risk as well.
Bruce Reid, thank you very much indeed.